Okay, we are live. The Knicks win an absolute thriller against the Atlanta Hawks tonight, who actually won 4 straight games. The New York Knicks snapped that with a 108-105 thrilling victory over the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Jalen Brunson, 30 points, started struggling early, started off slow, but ended up with 17 of his 30 points in the fourth quarter. The New York Knicks were absolutely amazing today. This is the Knicks team where we talk about the New York Knicks wanting to turn the switch. The switch was flipped tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. Welcome into this New York Knicks versus Atlanta Hawks live recap on Knicks Media, your source for all things Knicks. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It lets us know that you guys are watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well as sound off in the comments. I'm going to get through the stats and everything real quick, and then I want to give the show over to you guys, the fans, because the title is This One Felt Different. I want to know if this victory felt different for all New York's Knicks fans. So you guys sound off in the comments. And of course, this live recap is sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. So let's go ahead and look into the stats of the game. New York Knicks had a pretty amazing game today, if I might say myself. The Atlanta Hawks were one of the teams that people were telling everybody that the New York Knicks should be worried about. And the Atlanta Hawks proved that today. They gave up 36 points to Nickeil Alexander-Walker today. He looked absolutely amazing from the floor. 21 points from Jalen Johnson. And you see it trickled down. CJ McCollum, 17 points from him, and actually almost sent the game to overtime with 1 second left. The ball was like on the tip of his fingers tonight, or this game would have went into overtime with a full court heave to try to save the Atlanta Hawks game. But a pretty good showing. The Atlanta Hawks gave the New York Knicks everything they can handle. But we go over to the New York Knicks stats. Like I said, 30 points from Jalen Brunson, 13 assists from Captain Knight. Like I said, he struggled in the first half early. I had a conversation with one of my boys, said the reason why we losing was because of Jalen Brunson. I didn't see it that way, especially because on like the second or third possession of the first quarter, Jalen Brunson went for a drive, landed on somebody's foot, rolled his ankle. So I think that kind of attributed to the slow start we had from Jalen Brunson tonight. But went into distributor mode. We saw an aggressive Mikal Bridges because of that, 15 points, an aggressive OG Anunoby because of that, 22 points from him. And the thing that I love about Jalen Brunson is the assist to turnover ratio tonight. 13 assists, the only 3 turnovers from Captain Knight. So saying Jalen Brunson was the reason why we're losing, especially when him putting up 17 points in the fourth quarter, something that we know Jalen Brunson to do, was kind of comical to me. But other than that, great game from Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. Started off slow, finished off strong. That's exactly what we expect from Jalen Brunson. Karl-Anthony Towns, good night from him tonight too. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. We're starting to see a distributor in Karl-Anthony Towns. It's starting to really seem like Karl-Anthony Towns is really starting to find his role in this offense. Now, I've been really critical of Mike Brown, saying that, hey, Karl-Anthony Towns isn't Domantas Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis is like a stat sheet stuffer, can pass the ball really effectively. Over the past few games, we're starting to see that from Karl-Anthony Towns as well. 21 points, 6 assists from him, 2 steals and a block. So we even saw an aggressive Karl-Anthony Towns when it came to the defensive end, and only 2 fouls from Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a great sign to see. But the guy I got to talk about, Mitchell Robinson, man. Mitchell Robinson is an absolute game changer. I kind of, one game I was watching, and I'm watching Mitchell Robinson play, and you could feel the energy totally shift on both teams when Mitchell Robinson checks into the game. Mitchell Robinson is like the equivalent of an atomic bomb to the opponent. Like, even if Karl-Anthony Towns is struggling, even if Jalen Brunson is struggling, we're going to talk about Josh Hart in a second, only 2 points from him for this game. But anytime they throw Mitchell Robinson inside of the game, the energy shifts. The energy completely shifts when Mitchell Robinson is in the game. 8 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 blocks for Mitchell Robinson. Y'all could just go ahead and give Mitchell Robinson the Timbs and a hard hat for tonight's game. Going over team stats, Knicks shoot 50% from the floor tonight, 33.3% from the three-point line. That free throw percentage, they could kind of clean that up. That's something that I've been a little bit worried about. Now, they've been winning. This is their third straight win, I do believe. They've been winning, even though this free throw percentage has been under 90% for the past 3 games and probably more than that. But that's food they leave on the table, something that I think they need to clean up. Another thing that they need to clean up, and the reason why I think the Hawks were in this game, other than their fight, I'm not taking anything away from the Atlanta Hawks' performance tonight. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA, gave the Knicks everything they could handle. But the New York Knicks had 11 turnovers in the first half. That's a mistake that the New York Knicks have been making lately that will absolutely decimate them in the playoffs. They were able to overcome it tonight because of Jalen Brunson's heroics in the fourth quarter. But that's definitely something that they need to, kind of clean up going into the playoffs. Another player I want to talk about who didn't get any minutes tonight is one Jose Alvarado. Now, we all know that they brought in Jose Alvarado at the trade deadline, and we were expecting Jose Alvarado to be a consistent in this rotation. Last game, he got garbage time minutes. This game, he gets no minutes. So Mike Brown has chosen to roll with the second unit of Miles McBride, Landry Shamet, and Jordan Clarkson, somebody that was completely out of the rotation a month and a half ago, who's worked his way into the rotation, has increased his defensive intensity. So Jordan Clarkson is actually getting the nod over Jose Alvarado. You guys sound off in the comments and let me know how you guys feel about that. Now, Jose Alvarado has been struggling offensively. In my opinion, it seems like he's waiting too long to get into his sets, and he has kind of been getting cooked on the defensive end as well. Now, Jose Alvarado, he's not an elite defender by any means necessary, but a scrappy defender will get into you, no problem. But lately, it seems like Mike Brown has more trust in Landry Shamet, who is out for a long period of time. Thank God he's healthy. Not necessarily a great game from him, provided really good defense to kind of keep people in front of him. Only 1 point from Landry Shamet tonight, 6 from Miles McBride. Started off in the first half hot, made both of his 3-point shots, but that was pretty much it from Miles McBride for the rest of the game. Definitely cooled off in the second half, but great to see him healthy. 20 minutes from Miles McBride tonight. Looks like he's ready to go for the playoffs, especially after that hernia injury. People were wondering, when was Miles McBride going to come back? We thought he was only going to come back during the playoffs. They kind of moved his return up a little early. Looked like he re-injured his injury in the Oklahoma City game, but come to find out it wasn't that serious. Miles McBride is going to be exactly fine. And we missed his 3-point shooting. That's the one thing that the Knicks missed about Miles McBride is his knockdown 3 and his defensive intensity. So it was great to get that back from Miles McBride tonight. But other than that, man, great game from the New York Knicks. I really don't have too much to say about the game other than this is the New York Knicks team that we expect. The New York Knicks have been incredibly inconsistent over the course of the season, making Knicks fans kind of pull their hair out. This is the team that we expect to see on a night-to-night basis. Now, when it comes to the New York Knicks, nothing is ever easy. I don't expect any game to be easy when it comes to the New York Knicks. Teams play them tough. I've been saying this all year long, that the New York Knicks are no longer the hunters. They are now the hunted. They were projected to go to the NBA Finals, the favorite to go to the NBA Finals out of the Eastern Conference to begin the season. And every team has been playing them like that. Some of these shots that the other opponent hits on the New York Knicks night to night, I understand that their 3-point defense can be better, but it's some of the shots, like some of the shots we've seen from Nickeil Alexander-Walker tonight, where he's draped by Josh Hart, draped by Mikal Bridges. These are shots that teams have a tendency to hit against the New York Knicks. So no game is ever going to be easy for the New York Knicks, but what's prevalent that I'll try to look for when the New York Knicks is if they get punched in the mouth, are they going to be able to punch back? And we saw that against the Atlanta Hawks tonight, which makes this a really, really good victory, in my opinion, man. Talk about Jalen Brunson tonight, though. I mean, struggling at first, then going absolutely insane in the fourth quarter, man. There's nothing you could do about this. There's nothing you could do about it. Pat, shot, draped over. Nothing you can actually do about Jalen Brunson hitting those type of shots, man. Nothing you could do about it. It's just straight butter from Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter. I want to get some highlights from Mitchell Robinson, actually, because Mitchell Robinson, bro, there's nothing you could do with him. If you're the other team, there's nothing you can literally do with Mitchell Robinson. You expect him to just play in the post. He'll lock down the post, completely dominate the paint while he's in there. And then when he's having to cover players on the perimeter, they can't get around him. He's too big. They think he's slow. He's too fast. He's blocking jump shots out of the air. Whatever they got to do to pay Mitchell Robinson in the offseason, there shouldn't even be a question, in my opinion, anymore. Shouldn't be a question if they pay Mitchell Robinson. If you need to get rid of a piece to do that, so be it. So be it. But the Mitchell Robinson is a key piece to this Knicks team and this Knicks championship aspirations. He's the X factor in any game for the New York Knicks as long as he's healthy. Do whatever you need to do to pay Mitchell Robinson. Now, the guy that I kind of want to talk about, and Mitchell Robinson is a big part of this conversation for me. Let's go back and look at the stats for the game because I want to talk about Josh Hart real quick. Now, I'm not going to rag on Josh Hart about his performance tonight. I'm not going to do that. I understand Josh Hart is not going to have great offensive nights every night. Let's go ahead and keep it real. That's not who he is. What we expect Josh Hart to be is kind of similar to a Draymond Green role where he's going to give you some points, but we expect him to kind of stuff the stat sheet with rebounds, assists, steals, things like that. But my issue with Josh Hart in this lineup sometimes, and this goes back to the conversation I had with my boy Ken Castro, salute to you, bro, about him blaming Jalen Brunson for the loss. And I'm like, bro, you got to look at Josh Hart's numbers. Like, when Josh Hart is out there sometimes, especially on an offensive end, I feel like Jalen Brunson's offensive struggles, when Mikal Bridges struggles offensively, great game from Mikal Bridges, by the way, aggressive from the tip. They need to implement that more. Get Karl-Anthony Towns the ball early and get Mikal Bridges the ball early, because we see when Mikal Bridges gets the ball early enough, his intensity rises on a defensive end. Just wanted to point that out. But let's get back to Josh Hart, because there's a lot of nights where he's struggling offensively, where he's refusing to take the shot, where he's not as aggressive going to the hole, something that we've become accustomed to seeing from Josh Hart. They're basically out there playing 4-on-5 on the offensive end. When we had it, somebody, I forgot, one of my boys up here said, hey, what about if we just start the double big lineup? Now, my only argument when it came to that is because I understand that they're trying to like minimize Mitchell Robinson's minutes. You want to play him from anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes, and you can spell him if he's a starter, but we see the impact of Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench. It totally throws off the other team. Now, I do believe he can do that as a starter, but I feel like he has a different effect coming off of the bench. And notice, like, trying to limit his minutes is really hard to make Mitchell Robinson a starter. But when Josh Hart is only giving you 2 points, he only shot the ball 3 times tonight, no free throws from him tonight, only 5 rebounds and 3 assists, 2 turnovers. He had 2 really awful turnovers tonight, and a -3 and plus minus. These are the nights that Knicks fans talk about when they ask Mike Brown, hey, have you ever thought about, switching up the lineup, possibly starting somebody else, because Josh Hart can be inconsistent at times? I understand why they leave him in there. Like I said, he's a Draymond Green type comp. Like, he's a Swiss Army knife. Whatever you need Josh Hart to do, most nights he can do that. And it wasn't his night. So it's not like I'm ragging on Josh Hart. But nights like tonight, where Josh Hart is totally struggling offensively, it does make me question if Mitchell Robinson would be the better starter in this unit. It lets Karl-Anthony Towns play the 4. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about being a defensive presence in the post like that. It can allow him to shoot the 3 more, something that we want to see from Karl-Anthony Towns. We want Karl-Anthony Towns to shoot more 3-pointers, him being the best 3-point shooting big man in this league. I feel like that's something that the New York Knicks kind of miss out offensively with Karl-Anthony Towns, is not allowing him to stretch the floor a little bit more. Having Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup will do that for the New York Knicks. So Josh Hart is going to have to pick up his offense, especially when you go against elite teams. I'm not calling the Atlanta Hawks elite at all. Very red hot team. Red hot team. But against the elite teams like Oklahoma City Thunder, like teams like that, Josh Hart is going to have to give them a little bit more on an offensive end, because when Josh Hart struggles offensively, especially for the whole game, it could be for like a quarter or whatever, they'll find somebody to pick it up. OG Anunoby will pick it up for him. Mikal Bridges, as long as they're getting him the ball, they'll pick it up for him. So then it's not like a glaring weakness for the New York Knicks. But when they have games like tonight, and he can't give you anything offensively and barely anything defensively, in my opinion, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, not all his 36 were on Josh Hart, but a lot of them are. A lot of them were. It was not a great night from Josh Hart by any means necessary. So I understand Matt Brown's most likely not going to take him out of the starting lineup. But in the playoffs, when teams are able to key in on the Knicks' weaknesses, if Josh Hart keeps having performances like this, maybe it might be best for Mike Brown to switch to a 2-big lineup with Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. But you guys sound off in the comments. We're about to get to them real quick. I don't see a lot, so maybe this is going to be a real quick show. I understand I'm a new face for a lot of you. Richie has been on vacation. He had his birthday week. Happy birthday again to Richie. His birthday was on April 1st. Kind of took a week to kind of breathe before the Knicks go into playoff mode, kind of breathe before the NFL draft. Richie covers the New York Jets, one of the hardest working people I know. Salute to him for this opportunity. My name is Matthew Malik Wilson. To all of you guys that do not know, I will be a part of this channel going forward. Salute to Richie for giving me this opportunity. But your guy will be back. I've seen a lot of comments about, hey, where's Richie? Richie will be back. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure I call him tomorrow and have him address Knicks media so you guys can chill out and calm down and know exactly what's up. But before we get to the comments, let's go ahead and pay some bills, because like I said, this episode is sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app. The app is really easy to use. You can pick player props. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few player props, and you lock in your lineup, and you're good to go. If you don't want to do player picks, you can do team picks. You can pick the winner, the spread, and total on any major game. PrizePicks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. But here's the great thing about it. Here's why your boy is telling you this. Because if you're a new user, all you got to do is play $5 and you get $50 in lineups for free as long as you download the app and use code HMA. I made sure to put the link in the description for you. Make sure you guys play responsibly, of course, but tell them that Knicks Media sent you. But let's go ahead and get into these comments, man. See what you guys thought about the game. I thought it was a great performance from the New York Knicks. There's been a lot of questions if the New York Knicks can beat good teams. The Atlanta Hawks were a good team. So they haven't won a game against a really good team since the Denver Nuggets. That was about a month ago. Knicks have been up and down ever since then, playing down to their competition. I've made a few videos talking about my concerns for the New York Knicks, about how sometimes, like, you can tell that there's a game with the New York Knicks that is harder than they expect it to be. And then you still see fight from the New York Knicks, but eventually they fold. This was one of them games where the New York Knicks did not fold at all and were able to come out of Atlanta with a 108-105 victory. They should go to Magic City tonight to celebrate. But let's get into these comments, man, and then we'll get out of here. Shout out to Danielle W. Facts. Win. That's all we care about. We can nitpick these wins every now and then. You know what I'm saying? We can nitpick. I don't like it when they play down to their competition. But a team against the Atlanta Hawks who were shooting the way they were, who were red hot as they were, get out of there with a W. Make sure you do that. Salute to Danielle. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. 30 from Brunson. Woo, it's the 17 points in the fourth quarter for me. Understand the slow start from Jalen Brunson. I think he shot for like 5 for 14 or something. It was a terrible shooting percentage in the first half. But I keep telling people when it comes to Jalen Brunson, look at the whole stat sheet. Jalen Brunson had 13 assists by the third quarter. So it's not like Jalen Brunson was struggling offensively and he was a ball hog. That wasn't the case tonight. It just took him a while to get going. And like I said, man, if you roll your ankle on like the third play of the game, you're going to start slow too. But shout out to Cat. Fourth quarter is Jalen Brunson time. I usually, when it comes to Jalen Brunson, as long as the Knicks are in the game and they're not getting blown out, if that's the case where the New York Knicks are getting blown out, then cool. I understand your point. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson does have bad performances when he is a ball hog. But if it's in the fourth quarter and Jalen Brunson is giving you 17 points in the fourth after he struggled all game long to lead the Knicks to a victory, it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he got his 17 points like in garbage time. No, they needed every bucket to hold off this Atlanta Hawks team. Shows you exactly who Jalen Brunson is. We're going to get – every shooter is going to struggle. But once he saw that three go in, I think it was like in the third quarter, once he saw that three go in, it was off to the races from there. So salute to my guy, Jalen Brunson, on a great game tonight. Jason, what's up, my guy? Mikal looked good today. The whole team looked good. Hart gets a break, in my opinion. He has been excellent lately also. Do you think Mitch's hand is okay? I saw him grab his hand. I didn't exactly see what happened with Mitchell Robinson tonight. I saw him grab his hand, but he looked fine. He looked fine. I guess let me check real quick to see if there is any talk about his injury. I don't think there is, but I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be fine. He's like, in my opinion, him and OG Anunoby go through the most stuff on the court to where something will happen with them. And like you saw like last game, like with OG Anunoby's his wrist. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, OG, that's it. OG Anunoby's out for like the next 2 weeks or something, like with the Lakers with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, how both of them are hurt. And it's the end. They're about to go into the playoffs, and now it's only Bron. That's kind of scares me when it comes to him and Mitch are kind of like the same thing. Like usually it's like an ankle with Mitch, but if it's a hand, I believe that Mitch will be fine. I'm not seeing anything on Ian Begley about Mitchell Robinson's injury, so I guess that's something that we're going to have to wait and see. But I think Mitch is going to be fine, bro. If it's a hand, Mitch will still be out there. I have no doubts about that. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, though. Mikal Bridges had a really good night tonight. Aggressive from the point of tip, like immediately. Like it was like it made me think about what Zach Lowe said the other day. This is something that we've talked about on this channel for the past couple of recaps, where he's like, in this Mike Brown offense, it should be good enough to spit out Mikal Bridges having good offensive games. And he did that like from opening tip. Like we've had issues with Mikal Bridges not being aggressive going to the hole. We saw that tonight. Like usually he goes to the hole, he'll fade away from the hole. It's like he's not necessarily aggressive getting to the rim. The past couple of games, we've seen that. And that kind of goes in to the Karl-Anthony Towns assisting. Like tonight, it was Karl-Anthony Towns making sure that Mikal Bridges got easy open looks. And then we started to see the Brooklyn version Nets. The Brooklyn Nets version, excuse me, of Mikal Bridges, where I said this also, where during the Houston game, they constantly had Jalen Brunson bring the ball up the floor. And I'm like, well, you kind of have other ball handlers that could kind of help. And you could just kind of use Brunson off the screens with you having the experience from the Golden State Warriors, the knowledge that you gained from Steve Kerr watching Steph Curry play. Now, Jalen Brunson is not Steph Curry. He's not as athletic, not as fast. I understand that. But there's certain plays where Mike Brown can help Jalen Brunson a lot by not making him bring the ball up the floor, not having him being draped for 90 feet, and kind of giving him a little bit of a break. Mikal Bridges was able to do that. There was a lot of times where it was actually Mikal Bridges being the one bringing the ball up the floor and initiating the offense. That's something that we want to see from Mikal Bridges. So this is the version of Mikal Bridges that rings championships, in my opinion. When I think about the New York Knicks trying to win a championship, this is the version of Mikal Bridges that we need to see, because when he's active offensively, especially early, the defensive intensity from Mikal Bridges rose. I don't know if you guys saw that. Maybe I'm the only one that noticed it. I hope not. But when Mikal Bridges' shot was falling, his defense was locked in. So this is why I say when it comes to Mike Brown that hopefully these last couple of games, and they look like they have been, a learning experience for not only Mike Brown, but for the rest of this team, is that when you get Mikal Bridges involved early and you get Karl-Anthony Towns involved early, you have them for the rest of the game. Even if the offense isn't there, they'll be active on the defensive end. So that's the thing that I wanted Mike Brown to kind of like realize. And from this game, it kind of seems like they've learned a lot, not only from that losing streak that they had, not only from that absolute butt whipping that they got from the Houston Rockets, is that when you get these players involved, even OG Anunoby, I think OG had like 3 threes in the first quarter, in the first half at least. When you get these guys going early, especially on a night when Jalen Brunson is struggling offensively, you have a completely different New York Knicks team. So salute to Mikal Bridges. Josh Hart, now I'm not ragging on Josh Hart. I hope you don't think that, Jason, that I'm here like talking about like, well, no, they need to remove Josh Hart outside of the lineup. No, that's not it. It's just there's certain games where I'm noticing that things are harder for the rest of the New York Knicks when his offense isn't going. And in my opinion, nights like that, when Josh Hart isn't giving you anything offensively, and he's, in my opinion, he got cooked on the defensive end by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, it's not a lot you can do when a player is that hot from the floor. But when he's not giving you anything offensively, the Knicks are out there playing 4-on-5. I'd rather roll with Mitchell Robinson in that situation. Mitchell Robinson's not going to give you a lot offensively either, even though we've starting to see him like pick up his offense on putbacks. Jalen Brunson has been finding them. We already know about the second unit where Jose Alvarado, while he was playing, was able to find Mitch easily. Jordan Clarkson was able to do that. Tyler Kolek, whenever he gets minutes, he got no minutes tonight too. So Mitchell Robinson has been coming along offensively. It's just that Mitchell Robinson is so great defensively, better than Josh Hart, in my opinion, makes a bigger impact on the game than Josh Hart, in my opinion, that whenever Josh Hart is struggling like that, you might need to put Mitch in. But salute to you, Jason, for your comment. Appreciate that, man. My guy, the Miami Heat fan, the official, and y'all on a run now. I mean, we'll see how they close out the season. Like I said, a really impressive win tonight. This was, like I said, this one felt different. It was a different energy from the New York Knicks tonight. We're starting to see them like this is the playoff team that we kind of expect. Like, it was a different energy from them, a different focus from them, especially like when Jalen Brunson is struggling offensively. Usually this team kind of like crumbles a little bit, in my opinion, because he's really everything to them. But lately, for these past 3 games, this is the 3rd game they've won in a row. We're starting to see them flip that playoff switch. Like I talked to myself in the car about the New York Knicks. That's how much I love this team. I talked to myself about them while I'm driving. And I'm like, man, I hope the New York Knicks don't stink it up tonight. I was like, but if they do, I'm not going to come in here and wild out about it. Just get us to the playoffs so we can really find out what this team is made of. I think we're starting to see that to close out the season. Salute to my guy, the official, and the Miami Heat fan that tunes into these. So salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you. Next comment. Danielle, what's up? Happy Monday. What's up, guys? What's up, man? Always with the positive energy in the chat. We appreciate you every show. Thank you for rocking with your boy while Richie is out. Greatly appreciate you, man. Can't wait for Richie to come back. I'm ready to talk Knicks basketball with Richie for sure. See how he feels about how the New York Knicks are closing out this season. I'm pretty sure this win got him hyped. Y'all know Richie, one of the most positive people I know. I know Richie's hype about this win. Shout out to Jason again. Huge props from Brunson, always finding a way to impact the game and turning it around. That's the teammate of the year right there. Man, I'll be honest with you, man. I think Jalen Brunson is probably my favorite Knick of all time. Like, when you think about the story overall of Jalen Brunson, right? The New York Knicks signed him from the Mavericks. I think the contract was like 125 mil or something like that for 3 years. Us Knicks fans were like, what? Even though we saw how he performed in Dallas during the playoffs when Luka Doncic was out, averaging like 18 to 20 points, like the talent was there. It's just that you kind of had to wonder. He's an undersized point guard. My prediction for Jalen Brunson is, all right, he's going to come in here. He's going to give us 15 points maybe a night. He'll do that because Jalen Brunson is a consistent player. He'll give us a consistent 15 points, 5 assists, and kind of like steady the ship just for the point guard spot until the Knicks can find their superstar. Here we are 3 years later. Jalen Brunson's the clutch player of the year, a perennial all-star at this point. In my opinion, needs to be in MVP talks every year. That's just my opinion. Because without Jalen Brunson, this Knicks team goes nowhere. But, you know, the media falls in love with Jokic, which understandably, Jokic puts up monster triple-doubles a night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who averages over 30 every season. Luka Doncic, who wows out almost on a nightly basis, can put 50 on your beam at any point in time. But in my opinion, when you really sit back and you look at who Jalen Brunson is and what he's able to do for this New York Knicks team, in my opinion, he deserves to be in MVP talks every season. That's just my opinion. So you add that with the story of who we thought Jalen Brunson was going to be, the expectations that he's overcome and proved everybody wrong, but at the same time has been a consummate professional, has done it humbly, makes no excuses, always willing to take accountability, even when things aren't his fault, does everything right off the court. Jalen Brunson is my favorite Knick of all time, man. Just the story. The reason why I do sports for the stories. The stories are what keeps me interested. Of course, we could get enamored over highlights and stats and all of that, but when you take a look at sports, what makes you fall in love with a player or with a team? If you wanted your kid to grow up and play basketball, especially knowing that your kid might not be 7 feet tall, 6'8", or something like that, who would you want him to emulate? Especially when it comes to how he handles the game professionally, his work ethic, and his skill set, especially being an undersized point guard. I've seen Jalen Brunson live. He's not 6'1". Jalen Brunson is that guy. So not only is he the teammate of the year, in my opinion, he is the leader of the year for the New York Knicks. And he may go down, in my opinion. If he's able to capture a championship this year, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You can kill me in the comments for it if you want. The Knicks win a championship, Jalen Brunson will go down as the greatest Knick of all time. It's just my opinion, man. You got to look at the story, look how he got there. All of that factors in to him being my favorite Knick. So salute to you, Jason, for the comment. I couldn't agree more. No cap, Jay, what's good, my boy? Salute to you for tuning in. They not ready for playoff Brunson. I promise you that. I don't think anybody's ready for playoff Brunson, man. I don't think anybody's ready for it. Like I said, I know for those that have been tuning in, I was at the Charlotte game where they looked completely, terrible that night. But it was the first time I really got to see Jalen Brunson play live. I've never got to see him play live before. I live in North Carolina. So the Knicks come here a couple of times a season. Sometimes I can make it. Sometimes I can't, depending on my schedule. This was actually one of the years that I was able to make it. And my son is a Charlotte Hornets fan. So he did great in school, got his grades up, all of that. Salute. Let's go ahead and take you to a game. You know what I'm saying? I had to hear it on the way home because the Knicks lost. But it was my first time getting to see JB live. It's different live. It's way different live. The shots he's able to hit over taller. Everybody out there is taller than him. And they're fouling him on everything. He doesn't get the calls like that he's really supposed to on these jump shots. Jalen Brunson in the playoffs is a different animal. And we saw tonight where he struggled all game, but as soon as the fourth quarter comes, it's money time. Jalen Brunson in the playoffs is going to be something to see this year, especially if he's able to get help from guys like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, if Karl-Anthony Towns is able to find his role. They now have a healthy, I think that's the key. They have a healthy Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs, not a Mitchell Robinson that's ramping up, not a Mitchell Robinson that they got to be careful with. No, they have a healthy Mitchell Robinson that's able to kind of alleviate the pressure on Jalen Brunson in these playoff games. We might be able to see the best of Jalen Brunson in these playoffs. Salute to you, got my guy, No Cap J, the official end. Went from title contenders to just making the playoffs. That's sad. Who you talking about? The Miami Heat? Yeah, I don't know what's up with them, man. Like, Pat Riley got to get on this grind. I'm not used to the Miami Heat kind of like, I mean, even though these past few years, it's kind of been their thing. Like, they've kind of like been like anywhere from the 7th seed. Like, they've been in the play-in for like the past few years. Now, when y'all had Jimmy Butler, it really didn't matter where y'all were seated. You know what I'm saying? Like, the defense was spectacular. Snuck up on a lot of teams, got to the finals twice, right? Like the Miami Heat. But lately, it just kind of seemed like they haven't been able to get back to where they used to be. And the Miami Heat are definitely going to have to make some moves this offseason. I didn't like the comments from Bam Adebayo about the Las Vegas having an expansion team and him possibly wanting to play there and saying glowingly that he would love to play. I didn't like that. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. So I love Bam as a player, but I think you guys need like a dog. You guys need to go get you guys a perennial star. Tyler Hero's not that guy. Even though Bam Adebayo had 83 points this season, he's even kind of like bigging up that game more than he is the actual season. So I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from Miami, but make sure you official and clarify for me who you're talking about barely making the playoffs, and that's sad. But I think the Miami Heat will eventually return to that team. This is Miami, dog. Everybody's going to want to go to Miami. Let's keep it real. Like they're not going to be there long. That they'll find somebody, whether it be in the draft or somebody going there. I don't expect the Miami Heat to be bad for much longer. An excellent coach in Eric Spoelstra. The league better take advantage of these Miami Heat days while they're not that great. That's all I'm going to say. No Cap J, we still title contenders. Keep sleeping, my boy. I agree. As long as they can play like this. Like I said, the New York Knicks team can be kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde. So that's why I said, man, just get us to the playoffs so we can know. Everybody, tell me in the chat if you're just ready for the play. I don't want to say I don't care about these next 3 games because we have Cleveland on our heels, and it will be best for us to keep the 3 seed. In my opinion, I do believe we're matched up with Philly if the playoffs were to start today. I don't have an issue with the New York Knicks playing Philly. Now, I will let you guys know that if Joel Embiid's healthy, but Mitchell Robinson's been able to stop him. They haven't been able to contain Tyrese Maxey, in my opinion, to be honest with you. VJ Edgecombe, and whatever version they get of Paul George is going to determine who the 76ers are. And after Paul George's PED thing, he got suspended or whatever, it seems like he's kind of like re-engaged to being the Paul George that we used to know. I don't know the stats from tonight. It's just that the past few games I've been seeing from Paul George, he's been in the 20s. Like before that, he probably gave him like 14, 15 points a game here and there. And we're starting to see like the scorer PG again. So that's the only thing I worry about when it comes to the 76ers. We still have a better bench than them. We should still be able to win that series. But look out for the 76ers. But are the Knicks title contenders as long as they can play like how they played tonight? It don't have to be pretty, but as long as it's gritty. Salute to my guy CP the franchise. Had to steal that. It was the perfect time to steal it. But as long as they're able to do that, like it's the games where the New York Knicks get punched in the mouth and they're able to overcome that to get the dub. This is the Knicks team we know. This is not anything that the New York Knicks fans or the New York Knicks shouldn't be used to. Like I said, the only thing that's held the New York Knicks back from a championship, in my opinion, for these past couple of years is fatigue. There shouldn't be any issues when it comes to that this season. So title contenders after tonight, I will say, yes, the official end, no cap. Y'all not title contenders no more. Hey, there you go. Y'all second round exits, trust. Hey, you driven. Worry about the playing, little bro. Watch my team. All right, I'm going to let y'all go back and forth. Let me see if there's anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. He said, I'm talking about your Knicks going from title contenders to just making the playoffs. We a 3 seed. What do you mean just making the playoffs? This is their 3rd straight season with 50 wins. Just making the playoffs? Kind of sound like a little hate. Don't y'all agree? I think that's hate coming from you, the official. And like, I understand though. Like, I didn't want to talk mess, man. That's not what I'm here to do. But I understand the shots that are coming from Miami because really you're kind of like projecting. That's what my therapist calls it. He calls it projecting. So I understand your projection of how your team currently is, but the New York Knicks ain't just making the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Now, we can talk about the second round exit. Like, I see your point there. I'm not saying that the New York Knicks are going to get eliminated in the second round, but depends on what version of the Boston Celtics we're going to get. I still see the Knicks being a better team than the Boston Celtics, in my opinion, just because I don't trust, like, their bench pieces, like their role players. I don't know how they're going to operate in the playoffs. That's my only question. I have no questions when it comes to JT. I have no questions when it comes to Jalen Brown. Peyton Pritchard can be hit or miss. Derek White is going to give you great defense and 3-point shooting. They slept on the Knicks last season. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit cocky, and we saw what happened to them after that. I feel like they'll take the New York Knicks a little bit more serious this go-round if they were to face them in the second round. So no hate from you with the second round exit. I can see why you say that. I still think the New York Knicks still beat the Boston Celtics, but it's going to be the New York Knicks team that we saw tonight that beats the Boston Celtics, that makes them title contenders. Nah, I'm not going to rag on the hate from the other thing. Well, let's see what we got. Heat fans just be hating when people winning. Y'all trash. Got no room to talk 10th seed. That's what it is. What are your thoughts on the 2 seed? Is that something we should still be looking to? No, I think that's a wrap. We only have, 3 games at this point? Let's go ahead and look at the schedule before we get out of here, actually. It'll be a great way to close the show to see what the New York Knicks are closing out the standings with. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen with you. All right. So as far as the standings, the New York Knicks are currently in 3rd place. The Cleveland Cavaliers are a game behind us. So they've also won 3 straight. So they're definitely trying to come for that 3 seed. The Celtics are 2.5 games above us at this point. I don't see it. I don't see the 2nd seed, man. I think the New York Knicks are pretty much locked into the 3 seed, which would put us against the 76ers, who are in the tie right now for the Raptors. So we really don't know who we're playing in the first round. I originally said that I wanted them to play the 76ers just so they could have a challenge because I didn't want them to sleepwalk into the second round. I think that would be a nightmare for them, in my opinion. But if the New York Knicks are locked in this way, hell, I wouldn't mind them playing the Raptors, getting the Raptors out of here in, 5-6 games. New York Knicks usually close this series out in 6. For whatever reason, they have an issue closing things out in 5, so it's always Knicks in 6. So them or the Raptors. The Hornets are right there too. The Hornets kind of make me a little bit nervous. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. They've won 4 straight at this point. They play really good basketball, man. They play together. LaMelo Ball has shown a level of maturity that I didn't know was going to kick in for him. Knick was my rookie of the year, but Cooper Flagg has been going absolutely crazy lately. So I think the rookie of the year is pretty much locked in to Cooper Flagg at this point, even though I think Knick deserves it a little bit more. I think he's been the difference for that team, or why they play the way they play is because they have a guy like Knick. But the Hornets definitely make me a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. And speaking of the Hornets, we actually do play them on the last game of the season. Let me go ahead and look at the schedule so we know what we're closing out with. So big game on Thursday. The New York Knicks have the Boston Celtics on Thursday. So that's going to be another good test for the official end talking about we going to get out of here in the second round. That Celtics game is going to be a good measuring point for where the New York Knicks are now. Like, the Hawks are a good team. I understand that. They've been really hot during the second half of the season. Salute to Jalen Johnson and them being able to keep things afloat after they traded their superstar in Trae Young. Jalen Johnson has stepped into that role. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, after tonight, in my opinion, has pretty much locked up the Most Improved Player award for the 2026 season. CJ McCollum, he's found his role on that team. He's more than just a veteran presence. He is more of a scorer now on that team. I like Nkongwu. I do believe I'm saying his name right, the center they got for him, able to stretch the floor. The Hawks are a really good team. I like Dyson Daniels, very good defensively, can give you some offense. We saw what Ricochet gives you on some nights. Kuminga's always a wild card to me. You never know what you're going to get from Kuminga any night. Like, I used to blame Steve Kerr for not playing him, but over these past couple of weeks, I see why now. He's really, really inconsistent for what he'll give you on a night-to-night basis. So I'm saying all of that to say that the Hawks are not the Boston Celtics. So Thursday is going to be a really good measuring stick to see exactly where the New York Knicks are heading into the playoffs. Now, then they have the Raptors. They have a back-to-back, Celtics and Raptors. That's not fair, but they have the Raptors on Friday at home as well. And then, like I said, the rematch with the Hornets. So all three of these teams, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what the Celtics do. In my opinion, I think they believe they have the second seed locked up. So can they have some gamesmanship on Thursday and not play Jason Tatum and not play Jalen Brown? I can see Joe Mazzulla doing that, unless he wants to send a message to the New York Knicks before the playoffs get here. And like I said, I honestly do believe that if they do play, Jason Tatum has this game circled on his calendar. I can guarantee you that. If Kobe Bryant is as much of an inspiration on Jason Tatum as he says he is, I guarantee you he's got that Knicks game circled on his schedule. So as long as they don't show gamesmanship, that's going to be a tough game for the New York Knicks, especially with JT locking in on them. But like I said, then you got the Raptors. We always tend to do really well against the Raptors. They don't have the size. Karl-Anthony Towns has found a way to completely dominate the paint. When you don't have a legit lockdown center, Karl-Anthony Towns is going to torture you down there now. So I don't think they'll have an issue with the Raptors, and the Hornets are going to be interesting to see. The New York Knicks are going to want that one back. I can guarantee you that. So that's the schedule closing out the season. Let's see. Do we have any more comments before we get out of here? The Knicks will finish third seed 100%. Agree, Jay. I don't think the Knicks are going to get the second seed at this point. It's not enough games left. Philly fell down to 7. They just lost. Okay, so that makes things a little bit interesting. So they just lost. So does that mean that the Toronto Raptors are now in 6th place? It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this East closes the season out. Because, I mean, the Raptors are going to want that 6th seed because in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most turbulent play-ins we're going to have. Because as it sits currently without the updating standings, let me go ahead and pull it up again. As it sits now, the play-in is looking like the 76ers, the Hornets, the Magic, and the official ends team, the Miami Heat, who I'll never sleep on, especially in a play-in scenario. I'll never sleep on them. Eric Spoelstra is too good of a coach to just write them off. That's just my personal opinion. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this play-in turns out and who's going to actually capture that 6th seed. If you wanted me to bet my money on it, who the Knicks will play in the first round, it might be the Hornets, man. It might be the Hornets. They're playing really, really good basketball right now. Really, really good basketball. So Philly fell down to 7. That's good news to me, to be honest with you. It's good news to me. 6 through 9 seeds all have 43 wins. Like I said, it's not Like that's the thing that kind of made the Knicks so frustrating over the season, is because we thought we were just going to cakewalk through the East, especially in the playoffs. During the second half of the season, these East teams, especially on a bottom level, like the Magic, are a totally disappointment to me. I have no faith in the Magic whatsoever. They should be in the top 5 seeds at minimum, in my opinion, when it comes to the Orlando Magic. They've totally underperformed who they were supposed to be. But other than that, the rest of these teams have gotten incredibly hot in the second half of the season. The only team that's kind of fell off from who we thought they could be for their potential was the Chicago Bulls, because they started out like 7-2 to begin the season. But all the rest of these teams, like, I don't have any faith in Milwaukee whatsoever. Apparently Giannis is out for the season, so cancel them. But the 7 through 10 seeds, they've been playing really good basketball in the second half of the season. It's going to be really interesting to see who this new Knicks team plays. So shout out to you, Jason. Appreciate you tuning in, my guy. The official, and y'all better take advantage of home court. That's why they needed to lock up that 3 seed. When my Heat get Giannis, y'all in trouble. We'll talk about that real quick, actually. And Jason, great show tonight, signing off. I'm about to do the same, but let me adjust this Giannis thing. If the New York Knicks flame out in the playoffs, y'all not getting Giannis. He's not coming to Miami. He'll be a New York Knick. I really believe that. Like, even I do believe Giannis actually came out publicly and said there was talks in between the Knicks and the Bucks for Giannis. Like, he said it. And I'm starting to hear more rumors that Leon Rose wants Giannis to be a part of this team. The Karl-Anthony Towns thing, he struggled all season long. It went a bit too long, in my opinion. I'm not totally sure if they'll fire Mike Brown if they don't make it to the finals. I'm not really too sure the New York Knicks will do him like that, because the way the New York Knicks have looked offensively, he has cleaned up that side of the ball. They have performed offensively the way they thought they would. They have been playing a lot better defensively, especially in the second half of the season, especially when it comes to the fourth quarter as well. Their defensive net rating is number 1 in the league for their defense in the fourth quarter. So he still has that to rely on. He does play his bench. So Mike Brown might be here if the New York Knicks do not make it to the finals. That's something that I've kind of been changing my opinion on as these games go by and as these weeks go by. At first I thought he'd just be out of here if the Knicks don't make the finals. It's a colossal failure. They fired Tom Thibodeau last season, and he was supposed to be the guy to take him over the top. He didn't do that. He's going to have to go. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And with the season that he just had with Karl-Anthony Towns, as much as Leon Rose loves Karl-Anthony Towns and wanted him a part of this roster, you're not passing up Giannis, especially if this team doesn't make it to the finals. So I hear you saying when the Heat get you, I don't think you guys will. Now, if the New York Knicks make the finals, then maybe they realize that they don't need Giannis. But we know how this front office tends to operate. They're not scared to make adjustments regardless of how Knicks fans feel. And if they feel like if they make it to the finals and they lose and they feel like Giannis is going to be that piece to take them over the top, they're getting Giannis before the Miami Heat can. I can guarantee you that. They're not going to want to, like you said, they're not going to want to be in trouble if the Heat get Giannis. They'll most likely go ahead and pull the trigger for that. But y'all would lose a lot of depth. That's true. Right? That's totally accurate. What would y'all trade package look like? OG Anunoby is untouchable to me. Jalen Brunson, untouchable to me. You figure everything else out, in my opinion. Like Mikal Bridges, I really do. But he's been incredibly inconsistent. Like, I think it'll be Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. Deuce McBride is up for a payday. Are they going to want to pay him? We got to see how Deuce McBride performs in his playoffs in order for us to know. I know New York Knicks love him. They would love to keep him. But if you look at Deuce McBride's production, in my opinion, I think Deuce McBride can start pretty much on any other team. It's just that the New York Knicks are so front-loaded with talent that he's relegated to the bench when it comes to Deuce McBride's talent, as far as I'm concerned. That's just my personal opinion. So he could pretty much start anywhere else. So could it be a trade package of Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Deuce McBride? You can kind of bring in a third team for draft picks if they decide they don't want Mikal Bridges. But in my opinion, that's not a bad trade package for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not. Of course, with somebody like Giannis's caliber, you're going to want more. You're going to want those players plus 4 draft picks or something like that. But that's not really what the league is now with the CBA, with the apron thing that they did. That's not really, teams aren't getting those type of packages for players anymore. Like you could look at the New York Knicks or what they got for Mikal Bridges and be like, oh, well, Giannis should command 8 draft picks if that's the case. But we got to remember who the New York Knicks were doing business with. They were doing business with the Nets, and the Nets don't like doing business with the New York Knicks. So they taxed the New York Knicks when it came to Mikal Bridges. They totally taxed them when it comes to all the draft picks that they got for him. But the Knicks management believed in Mikal Bridges, wanted to pair him with Jalen Brunson, felt like that trio or quadruplet, what they were supposed to be, with Dante DiVincenzo still being here at the time when Mikal Bridges got traded here. I see why they did it. But in my opinion, the trade package would be Karl-Anthony Towns, Deuce McBride, unfortunately, and Mikal Bridges. Because OG Anunoby, what he gives you defensively every night, regardless of how inconsistent he is offensively, OG Anunoby is an all-team defense first team, all defensive first team player, in my opinion. He deserves to be there. So that's what the trade package will look like. But it looks like that was going to be it for me. Salute to everybody that's been tuning in. Greatly appreciate the support. I understand that I'm a new face. Trust me, I'm tapping in with Richie tomorrow to kind of get him up here to kind of address you guys, so people don't keep thinking I'm a stranger up here. that would be nice, Richie, to kind of like, give your fans a heads up that, hey, I got this new guy that's starting on the channel. You guys kind of like don't freak out that somebody else is up here, because I swear, man, if y'all go back and look at the comments on Sunday, like, yo, who the hell is this? Where's Richie? Is Richie okay? It's like, bro, Richie's fine, bro. Like, I didn't put a hit out on Richie and then take over his channel. Like that's not what happened. But I understand the confusion. I understand I'm a new face. I really, really appreciate everybody that's rocking with me on these post shows. Like, I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. How thankful I am that you guys are tuning in and like in the comments and keeping engaged and stuff like that. Like, I'm sick as hell. Like, I've had a terrible couple of days. You guys are the reason in the comments, man. You guys are the reason why I told you guys last post game, I don't think I'm going to be here Monday. I could not hang with y'all. Like, it's just something that's kind of been ingrained in my work ethic now, is to make sure that I at least do a post game recap with you guys, because, man, that's how much, like, I appreciate y'all. I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So hopefully Richie will come back soon. Me and Richie could get on the show, chop it up and all that, because I miss Richie too. Richie's my guy, man. Like, I know you guys, I know some of you may know Richie on a personal level. I'm just getting to know him. He's been my mentor for like a year straight. If you guys are familiar with Jets Roundtable, I'm the content creator from there that he saw potential in and brought over to the New York Knicks, because he knows I cover this team myself. And I have a lot of love for the New York Knicks. I bleed orange and blue. I try to always keep things objective. I hate the way the media uses the Knicks and presents the Knicks news to y'all. I hate it. So I always try to give you guys a different coverage, and Richie sees that, and there's a reason why he brought me along. So Richie's an amazing, amazing person, man. And I'm really, really thankful that he's given me this opportunity to kind of like connect with y'all. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really mean that. When I say I'm thankful for you guys, like, for real, I'm really, really thankful for not only Richie giving me this opportunity, but for you guys rocking with me while in his absence until he could come back. So hopefully that's soon. I do believe it might be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's gonna be soon. I'm gonna be blowing up his line tomorrow. Hey, you need to tap in with your fans, let them know what's going on, bro. So get me off of this. Get me off and walking the plank here. But that's gonna be it for me, man. Make sure you guys sound off in the comments. Type "Let's go Knicks" on your way out. Lets me know that you watched until the end. make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It helps out the channel a lot. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Big things coming for Knicks Media. Shout out to our sponsor, PrizePicks. There you go. Let's go Heat. There you go. Hey, I respect it. I respect the Let's Go Heat. I respect it, man. Salute to y'all, man. Hopefully y'all can clean out this, you know what I'm saying? Clean out this play-in and make things interesting. The playoffs are always better when the Miami Heat are in there. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you do that. I do have my own channel. My own channel is called Blackout Sports. It will be a collaborator in this video. To be honest with you, I haven't really shown my channel a lot of love lately. I've been so busy with Jets Roundtable and now this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't really had, you know what I'm saying, time to kind of, you know, focus on my own channel. It is going to be something that I will be doing during the playoffs, though, because what I do on my channel is I mostly cover the Knicks. I don't cover the Jets on my channel. The Knicks is where my heart is at. I know a lot more about the Knicks, even though I am a Jets fan. I know a lot more about the Knicks than I know about any team. So anytime I'm on my channel, I talk New York Knicks. I look forward to tapping in with my boy Ken Castro, who's over there, my co-host. Looking forward to getting back over there, chopping it up with him. But, you know, had to step in. Richie wanted to be out for a week, wants the channel to be a lot more consistent. I have no issues. At any time, I have no issues being a team player, man. That's always who I've been. I get criticism for it, you know, why you put these other stuff before your own channel, I understand that, but I've always been a team player, bro. I always like doing things together, in my opinion. That's always been the type of person I am. I know my channel's gonna pop off eventually, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know that, but gotta lay the groundwork for that first before that. Can you drop a link for your channel? Yes, I can. Give me 1 second. Let me put it in the comments, and I got you. And then I'm going to get out of here. Give me 1 second. Blackout Sports. Yep, let me get you this, and then I'm out of here, man. I appreciate the love, too, man. For real, I really do. Yep, there's that. Leave this in the comments for you, my guy. Yep, there it goes in the comments. YouTube.com at Blackout Sports 2Cs. Can kind of go check out what I've done. I ain't been up there in a minute, man. I think the last time I did a show was like a month ago, and I did that to kind of like show Richie that, hey, yo, I can talk Knicks, you know what I'm saying? But the plan for my channel was to always tap in during the playoffs. Like that's when Knicks fans are activated. It's playoff time. Like, regular season doesn't mean anything to me. It never has. Playoffs is when New York Knicks fans come alive. This is when all Knicks fans are tapped in, because we all got the same goal, and that's to win a championship. And the New York Knicks haven't been in a position this well in the past 30 years to win the championship, in my opinion. So ready to lock in. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You could have been everywhere in the world. Appreciate you, official, and thank you for the subscribe, my boy. I promise I'll have content up there soon. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Type Let's Go Knicks in the chat. Good time to be excited. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, shout out to our sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 sports app. And that's me signing off, man. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me on this Monday night until 11 p.m. And I appreciate that, man, from the bottom of my heart. Salute to everybody on Knicks Media, man. We out of here. Peace.